Baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Hard to believe, but this is the final regular season home game for the Royals this year as they wrap up a 3-game series with the Cleveland Indians. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Here last night, it was Fan Appreciation Night, but really the fans' biggest impact will be today when the Royals' new attendance record will be established, going from 2.4 million in 1989 to over 2.7 this year.
Fantastic feat, folks, to be able to watch that product. Congratulations to the organization, the ownership, Dayton Moore, but especially for the fans. Man, you've made this season a success. These players, they feed off of that, and it's obvious when they get their frenzy hitting going.
So we're going to make you, the fans, our most trusted fans. Brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. And it's not just how many people who have been here. It's been how engaged and how much energy these fans have created.
The signs, are you kidding? They are so great. These guys have a great mindset for their players, a passion. Even the dogs love coming to the K. It's just been one of those seasons, and hopefully they'll get that crown that they've coveted for so long.
Royals are trying to get to 90 wins. And the Cleveland Indians, they are hanging on to their wild card lives. They are 3 games back for the American League wild card with 8 games to go. Joel and Monty are coming up next.
September 24th, 2014, the last home game of the year, and a special day at Kauffman Stadium. Who knew that a little over a week later, it would be that special wild card game, one of the greatest in history. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. We will echo what Ryan and Hud just said. We see the signs. We have people behind us every night before and after the game. It has truly been an incredible environment.
It's been a great environment. These players obviously have fed off what this attendance record has meant for them. They've played very well, especially at home, and great to see it really carry through. Now today put the finishing touches on their home season.
Yeah, Hud mentioned it. Fans, dogs, BFFs even out here, yes. And perhaps in honor of Yogi Berra, a little deja vu all over again. Monty, look back to last year, and the Royals really were struggling a bit and falling back in the race. That's different than this year because the Royals have already won that race, but then they got really hot the last week.
Well, they got hot when they needed to get hot, and hopefully that'll be exactly what this team does this year. And we have a tendency to forget a little bit about those 4 stretches, even like this year, that 2-9 stretch at the end of May, early June. They're in one of those now. Hopefully get it turned around starting today.
No guarantees that because it happened last year, it'll happen this year, but it just goes to show you never know. Chris Young will be on the hill momentarily. First pitch coming up next.
Davis to the bag. Magic number 0. The Royals are the 2015 American League Central Division champions. And this year's fans have established a new attendance record. Final home regular season game, game number 81. The Royals will finish the regular year on the road. We'll be at Wrigley Field tomorrow, and then 3 games against the White Sox, 3 games at Minnesota, and then get ready for the playoffs. Royals baseball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Visit your local Chevy dealers today for great prices on all the new 2015 vehicles. And what a gorgeous day. We have, for the most part, lucked out in Kansas City this summer. It wasn't a brutally hot summer. I mean, we had our hot days, but not long stretches of hot days. And man, we are finishing in late September like it's late August.
And you know, the other thing that sticks out, Rhino, is it's very rare in baseball. When you have a season, there are no dog days. There were no dog days this year for the Royals. Now, maybe you might say September they haven't been winning, but there's still, these guys have energy. They're playing hard, but it's been a blessed year. There's no doubt about it.
Kia puts us in the driver's seat. Chris Young has made 10 consecutive relief appearances since his last start, and that last start was at Cleveland on July 28th. He has not gone more than 53 pitches in any of those 10 relief outings. But Ned Yost's bullpen is full of relievers today. Chris Young trying first of all to just get through the first inning without allowing a run. We'll get to that in a moment. Here are the Royals defensively, presented by Ford. Christian Colon will get the start at second base. Ben Zobrist gets the day off. Alex Gordon gets half the day off. He'll be the designated hitter. So Gerard Dyson will be in left.
Great opportunity for Colon to get out there and anchor down at second base and provide some good defense. Last night they were a little bit off on their defense. They've got to be airtight, especially those outfielders with Chris Young. He's a fly ball pitcher. Beautiful high sky, partly cloudy, but it's really a special day for Chris Young to get this opportunity to get these Royals going right here on the last day of the season for the fans.
.77 degrees at the moment. Dana DeMuth is the crew chief. He's at second base. Last night he celebrated his 4,000th major league game. Ed Hickox is behind home plate. Paul Nart is at first. Mike Estabrook is at third. And Dana DeMuth crosses himself, prays for a fast game so they can get to the airport and get their flight to the next city, among other things. There's a strike to Jason Kipnis. So back to the first inning. The Royals are 9-15 in the month of September. Their offense has actually really picked up. The pitching has been down, and in particular the first inning. The Royals' first inning ERA in September is 8.63.
Oh, we hope tonight or this afternoon that stops. Young can put an end to that. Very deceptive at 6'10". A lot of these hitters aren't used to seeing that type of angle, so he's deceptive. He'll go really 86 to 88 miles an hour on his fastball. Slider combination, fastball, slider, and a changeup. Does it with mainly fastball sliders.
Good. Fastball is just inside, 2-2. Chris Young has been very good in the first inning, giving up just one run in his 16 starts. Good slider down, strikes out Kipnis, who had very good numbers against Chris Young. And today's game begins with a strikeout.
Well, you can believe that Chris Young is treating this like a postseason game. And he's well prepared as always, physically and mentally. And he wants to go out and execute, use the defense like he does. And when he's really on, he has a lot of success up in the upper part of the strike zone, giving a lot of pop-up balls to the opponents. A lot of pop-ups, fly balls.
Francisco Lindor back to his regular number 2 spot as Michael Brantley is back in the lineup for the Indians.
Lindor saying, throw me that one again. And he just put it a little lower.
Lindor has had an outstanding beginning to his big league career, and he has done exceptionally well against the Royals. Batting .324. He has 15 RBIs against KC, 3 home runs. Didn't mean to do it. It's still 0-2. That is the best average in the major leagues. 389 since August 5th. That's not just rookies, that's any player. Hosmer hangs it in the air for Chris Young, and there are 2 down.
Ho hum. Chris Young just covered first base like it was a walk in the park. Routine. This play's worked on more than any other play in spring training. Pitchers fielding practice. Routine. Every day they do this for 20 minutes. Young, get over. Ball hit to the right side. Look at that. Nice and easy for the big man. Very athletic. He's got a lot left in his tank. I believe he'll pitch after this year too. Someone's going to give him an opportunity. I don't know where it will be, but he's still got a lot of outs left in that arm.
And now Michael Brantley's first at bat of the series. Brantley jammed his right shoulder in Minnesota on Tuesday and had not played since, so he missed 4 straight games. It is a bright day, so Brantley goes with the sunglasses.
Man, you're gonna get me started now on the glasses and all the modern technology that these players use to help themselves with the pads on their elbows, their eyes. You know, I mean, the hitters back in the old days, they really had it tough.
Kane is back. Lorenzo Cain to the warning track. And back when you played, they had to run on asphalt in the outfield to get to the warning track. Now they get to run on grass. Will lead off. Ben Zobrist gets the day off. So Ned Yost elected, rather than leave Alex Gordon as the leadoff hitter, drop him down to Zobrist's spot. Escobar has swung the bat well in his last 6 games, so he leads off. And Gerard Dyson will hit 9th. And the Royals again are facing a pitcher that can really pile up the strikeouts. Danny Salazar has 186 strikeouts in a little over 174 innings.
Yikes, here we go again. But look, it could be different. The Royals got him May 5th. Earlier this year, they beat him 5-3, went 7 innings. He gave up 4 runs. They can do it again. Fastball city, the Royals love him. Glad to see Escobar in that top spot. But those 168 punch outs, that's 19th in Major League Baseball and 8th best in the American League. So he's been dealing. There it is. Base hit, maybe no.
Almonte was playing shallow, so you put Escobar in a familiar role, and he does a familiar thing, swing at the first pitch that he sees. As Salazar gets his first out, which is 1 pitch, and we take a look at the Indians defensively. Michael Brantley back in there, and Cleveland last year, they were the worst in baseball in defensive run save, minus 75, and they come into today's game plus 14. So that is a 99-80 89 run difference. So they have basically protected 89 more runs according to that statistic compared to last year. 1-1 to Alex.
Oh, good for them. Hope they have a nice off season. Ouch. Well, too bad. You know what? The Royals have been a stepping mat for how many years? A long time. It's time. Look, it's time for the change of the guard. Now, Cleveland, everybody picked them to win. And with that pitching staff, I don't know how they didn't. But now they're just, what, one game over 500 or they're at 500 today?
One game over 500.
Good for them.
For the first time since they were 2-1 early in the season.
Yeah. No sympathy cards.
Wow.
Royals want to take it out on these guys today.
Did you have vinegar for breakfast this morning?
Salazar needs to be able to watch himself because they're going to balls be flying. Oops. He's tough. He's got some good pitches too, man. He's got that good fastball, averages 94. He changes his slider curve. He'll be tough.
They are 3 games back, which doesn't sound bad. They do have to pass 3 teams to get that second spot. And they will return home after this game. They will finish the regular season at home against Minnesota and then Boston. Man, you're just all over the Indians.
Well,
can a broadcaster provide bulletin board material?
No, not at all.
And can you come up with bulletin board material in the middle of the game?
No,
okay.
Really. Look, now even though they get our feet in Cleveland, I think they understand. Look, it's just a competitive thing that just happened to come out. And look, the Royals, the way they've been playing, you know, there's Archie. Rick Manning over there to the left. I mean, if I got to go over there and we got to throw down a little scuffle,
wow,
it's on.
My goodness.
All right. Archie's a tough guy, though. He's a former ex-player, the guy on the left. But you know, the Cleveland Indians definitely will have some opportunities in the future. They're a really good team.
Okay, I am going to take it upon myself as a broadcaster here. I am going to, as Kane takes high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm gonna nip this in the bud right now. I'm gonna issue a warning to Rex Hudler and a warning to Rick Manning.
Well,
that's it. Let's just nip this in the bud.
All right.
We don't want to get this
out
of control. It's the final home game of the year. I mean, we should be celebrating.
Sorry, I blew up. But no, really, I love Archie.
Lorenzo Cain, good swing, goes the other way on a 3-2 pitch, hits it by Santana, and he's on with 2 outs. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. The season series will be decided today. The Royals have 9 wins. Cleveland has 9 wins. Cleveland has won 10 of the last season series. Okay, there's the root of the Rex Hudler bitterness today. You're tired of losing to the Indians, aren't
There you go.
Okay.
Exactly. And you know, the Royals need to feel the same way. That's the mentality you take when you get out there between the lines. Sometimes it leaks up to the booth. Look for that piece of cheese and don't miss it. Put a good pass on it. Don't miss any of his mistakes. That ball will fly. It'll carry today. Hardly any wind at the K this afternoon. Get that little backspin on that baseball.
Hosmer thinking first pitch fastball, and you got a hard breaking ball down, 86 miles an hour. Salazar does a very good job of managing the running game. This is his 29th start of the season, and only 7 runners have attempted a stolen base. The league is 3 for 7 against Salazar. Another breaking ball fouled away.
Eric Hosmer has sick power to straightaway center field into the opposite field. Okay, he can really juice the ball and go the other way. I'm sure deep down inside he sees his buddy Moose with 5 more homers than him. Salvi's got 20. Hosmer's sitting on 16, and he feels like he has to pull it. Those last 2 pitches, he's trying to dead pull it out of the yard. He just wants to wait a click longer and go to the opposite field.
1-2, 98 with that fastball.
Let Salazar provide the power. There you go. He's got some to right field. He's got 2 to left and 9 to center. He's a beast straight away.
He has 2 home runs in his career against Salazar. Kane runs, and Hosmer fouls it away.
Good thing Hosmer fouled that one off. Didn't look like that was the best of jumps by Lorenzo Cain.
Not running this time, and Hosmer takes the breaking ball low. 2-2.
Right now, Salazar does have 51 walks and 174 and a third coming in. So that's the second most walks he has on the pitching staff. Trevor Bauer's got more. He's got 76. But look, so selectivity will be a big part if they can lay off of that changeup and slider down in the dirt. Just make him elevate his fastball.
Going to try to get him with a changeup, and he did. Salazar strikes out 2. Royals get a 2-out hit from Cain, and at the end of 1, no score. Hospital injury report. Adam Wainwright, who was lost very early in the year with a torn left Achilles when he was batting at Milwaukee, figured he was done for the year. Well, he threw a 27-pitch simulated inning yesterday in St. Louis, and hoping that the doctors will allow him to join the bullpen. They could use some good news with the injuries they've had this year. They lost Carlos Martinez for the year with a shoulder injury. Fly ball right field, and Rios will make the play in right. Chris Young has knocked down the first 4 Indians.
And he's done it with just 13 pitches. How about that? There's a guy who can get you out of the first inning.
With a 1-2-3 first inning, that was the first time in 15 games that a Royal starter went 1-2-3 in the first. One down to Lonnie Chisenhall, who is right back in there. Remember, He singled in the 3rd inning last night and was immediately replaced by Jerry Sands as a pinch runner. Chisenhall was having some cramping in a hamstring, but back out there today. 1 ball and 1 strike against Young.
2 for 9 in his career against Young. Chisenhall's glasses look like they're beach sunglasses. That yellow green tint to it, you know, maybe he got the wrong ones out of his locker.
What is up with you? Kane makes a play in center field. Oh my gosh. You're in the mood to boo Santa Claus right now, aren't you?
You know, I was happy this morning, but when I got to the ballpark, I just started feeling that competitive vibes, and maybe it's Chris Young that can get them out. And speaking of day at the beach, that's exactly what that fly ball was to Lorenzo Kane. So when Chris Young is on, he's given up fly ball outs, and so far so good. Just keep it in the yard. Righties have taken him deep 8 times. Lefties have taken him deep 8 times. But that average against right-handers is 167. That's the lowest average against right-handers in the Major League Baseball. So he's doing a good job against those righties. Lefties 252 with 8. Keep him in the yard.
What exactly did you have for breakfast?
I can't help it. It's baseball, man. It's September ball. We're getting close to October. You can see it in the air. You can feel it. The crowd, they've been sitting on their hands for the last week here. Outside of the clinching day. Time to get a W.
1-2 on Almonte.
Fastball slider.
What is it that you don't like about Almonte so far today?
Well, I like Almonte because he's an underdog, and he's auditioning. Yeah, no, he's
pants. I mean, you like the way he wears his pants?
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Okay.
You know, I don't see anything, any visual, but I do like to pull for the underdog guy who's out there auditioning. He's trying to get a starting job for center next year, but I like him because he did that too.
6 up, 6 down. Chris Young, who has not made a start since July 28th, is off to a good start today. TV. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD with MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. Visit MLB.TV for details. Salvador Perez, followed by Mike Moustakas and Alex Rios in the second inning. Over Salazar's head. Kipnis was shaded toward the middle, so it ends up being a routine play for him. And for the second straight inning, Salazar has the first out using just one pitch. Here's our Toyota League leaders for today. The Cleveland Indians pitching staff overall is second in the American League and second in the major leagues away from home. Only the Cardinals have pitched better on the road, and they're just kind of bunched in there with a bunch of National League teams, and all those teams are contending teams. So pitching as well on the road as they are at home. No big variance between the two, which a lot of times will signify a losing team. They're only doing it in one location. All those teams are pitching well at home and on the road.
Salazar getting ahead with the fastball if he can, and then he's offering nothing but change-ups and curves, little sliders, trying to get guys to swing out of the zone and go Tampa Bay.
Both the Royals and the Blue Jays, as they fight for home field advantage in the final week, will be playing all of their games on the road. Mike Moustakas has a couple of home runs in his career against Salazar, and a little roller out to Santana. Salazar to the bag, and there are two down.
Can't believe this is our last game up here in the booth this year. Gotta wait till next year. Once the playoffs get here, we turn it over to the national broadcasters, and they'll come up here and sit in our booth and talk about our Royals, but that's okay. We can get over it. See where that pitch ended up? That's exactly where Salazar wants it. And if we keep hitting those pitches that are down there, that's what's going to happen. Hit it right at people. Good execution by Salazar.
Two down to Alex Rios. Fastball at the knees at 98. .98 again. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rios' hot stretch has now reached 24 games, where he's added 35 points to his batting average. 3 balls and 1 strike. 371 over his last 24 games with a 949 OPS.
Well, those are enough games right there to know that that's legit. He's coming on. He's finally showing up like the guy they expected. He missed that one.
Chisenhall waits for it in right field, and 2 scoreless innings for both Danny Salazar and Chris Young.
Our own Jonathan Pope and the Royals Pope. Mazda Game Break goes back to last night. One of the great catches of the year. Mike Trout scales the fence and pulls it back. The Angels would go on to win on a David Freese walk-off, and now in the wild card. Oh, this is getting interesting. The Angels just a half a game out for that second wild card spot behind Houston. So we'll look at the wild card standings right now, and New York, they should be set, but Houston, a team that was up comfortably a couple of weeks ago in the division, now fighting for their playoff lives. Guys, you never know when you're going to get back to the playoffs. And I'll answer the trivia question before I ask it. The San Diego Padres, since 1998, have one playoff win. The winner of that game was the man on the mound right now, Chris Young, and that one is just foul, fortunately. But Chris Young started Game 3, guys, of the American League Division Series just across I-70 here at St. Louis. He was 27 years old, went 6 2/3, 4 hits, no runs to lead his Padres to a victory over the opposing starter Jeff Suppan and the Cardinals. That was the only game they won of the series. How long has it been since Chris Young has been in the playoffs? Nearly 9 years. He's pitched 153 games, nearly 800 innings. And if you're counting 3,278 days since Chris Young last pitched in the playoffs, you never know when it's going to come around again.
So, Joel, you are correct, and that's great research. But today is Chris Young's playoff game, and that's how his mentality is. He's set. This is his game. In order for him to get more starts, he wants to come out and dazzle.
Well, he's off to a good start. He has set down the first 6 Indians hitters. And now battling with the DH Chris Johnson. Jose Ramirez and Roberto Perez coming up. And a little pop up into shallow right field. And there's Rios. One away.
The sun can be a factor in day games here at the K, mainly on players on the left side of the infield. They're going to have to battle that sun over there. Outfielder Dyson in left. Guys on the right side, not so much.
Good pitch at the knees and a strike to Ramirez, who's had a heck of a series. 5 for 10 in the first 2 games with a double, a triple, a home run, and 4 runs scored. So don't be deceived by that .223 overall batting average. He is a hot and dangerous hitter at the moment. One and 2.
Yeah, way to go, Ed Hickox. Home plate umpire calling strikes today. Anything on the corners, you tell the hitters, and if you don't even have to verbally tell them, you just make them swing it.
Lorenzo Cain on the run and runs it down. He just got in a race with the baseball, and he outran the baseball.
Well, when you have 4 gears like he does, and you shift into 3rd and 4th, that baseball has no chance to find a hit.
Now Lorenzo's checking in with Rusty Kuntz to see where Rusty wants to position him for Roberto Perez.
Best hair in the league there, folks. Maybe in all of baseball.
Better than Colby Rasmus?
Absolutely. Colby needs to towel dry his hair. Maybe blow dry it a little bit. Looks a little bit like it hadn't been washed in a couple of weeks. I know, Rasmus. I'll tell him myself. We may not see them, though. Houston's
Is their season over too?
It could be.
Okay.
They're kind of stuck in a little rut.
Two and one on Roberto Perez. Changeup. 2-2. And now 3 balls, 2 strikes on Perez. The Indians took game 1 6-0. Carlos Carrasco pitched the 1-hitter, and the Indians hit 3 home runs. Perez had one of those, and then Cleveland took game 2 last night 9-5. Fastball struck him out. 3 perfect innings for Chris Young. And he got some help from his defense.
Yes, he did. The Royals are 13-5 in those blue jerseys. Make it work. Find a way.
The physical education teacher at 3 Kansas City, Missouri schools. However, fans here see him working for the Royals as a traffic director, often directing traffic in a very animated way, and known for his great personality. Floyd has been incredibly personable with guests, letting each of them know they are loved and to have fun at the game. And favorite of ours at Fox Sports Kansas City, Morgan Uber, did a nice feature on him during this homestand during Hy-Vee Royals Live, and he, in the final home regular season game of the year, is sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat.
Oh, congratulations, Floyd. Oh, we need more of Floyd's. A lover of family and a lover of people, and he's not afraid to show it. Outstanding. Buck O'Neil will be really proud today. He is every day. All these people that come here to get to sit in that seat, man, that's a beautiful thing.
Christian Colon, left side. Lindor backhands, throws, not in time, and the ball got away from Santana.
That ball had eyes on it. Just getting away from Ramirez, the third baseman, just enough. Lindor had to go a little bit farther. Look at how that ball hopped over Ramirez's glove. Colon's going good today. Never know from day to day and at bat to at bat how that ball's going to bounce for you, but he legged it out. 137th infield hit by the Royals.
Dyson was trying for the 138th infield hit.
High fastball's tough pitch to bunt. Better off of taking it. So since Salazar thinks he's going to do it again, he'll probably get another high fastball.
And he bunts that one foul. 0-2. That foul ball got some of the Indians catcher Roberto Perez. Were those in the strike zone, those two pitches?
No, they weren't. And just because the bunt sign could be on, you don't have to bunt them. There's no way you bunt this. You just take it.
Wow, I didn't realize until I saw that he has 2 bunt hits. Rod Dyson does. Game number 155. Swinging away and hits a little pop up into right field. Chisenhall is there. 1 out. Mark your calendars for 2016 Royals Fan Fest presented by Commerce Bank. The dates are Friday, January 29th and Saturday, January 30th at the Kansas City Convention Center. It's a family-friendly event. It will feature player autograph sessions, slugger appearances, Royals merchandise, many activities, and tickets are on sale now at Royals.com/fanfest.
Usually Escobar doesn't swing at the first pitch the second time. Oh, he's ready. He's seen 2 pitches and he's on them. He lined the first one out to center fielder right on the nose.
Escobar is leading off today. Ben Zobrist has the day off, and Alex Gordon is batting second. Started to go. No swing. Paul Nart is the first base umpire.
Just barely checked it.
Interesting, Ned Yost in addressing Escobar leading off today, and I asked him, and only because people would wonder, it's just a one-day thing, and he said probably, and yet in his answer he reminded us how the Royals, on one hand, their record has not been very good since Escobar has been taken out of the leadoff spot. And yet the offense has scored about 5 runs per game in September. And sometimes the numbers make sense. Sometimes the numbers would say someone like Alex Gordon should lead off based on his track record, based on his on-base percentage, which Escobar has never been known for a high on-base percentage. But last year, late in the season, into the playoffs, and for most of this year, it just worked. Sometimes there's just a chemistry in a lineup where somebody's numbers don't fit the prototype of that spot, but it works.
And all it's about is winning games. I agree with Ned. Now, Escobar's been hot the last 6-7 games, but you know, this has been a winning formula for him. So I'm sure Ned will get asked that question whether Escobar is going to be the permanent leadoff guy, but let's continue to see how he does today in this spot.
And we all know that's where he wants to hit. Colon has a huge lead and thought about going early. And that's the second time in the past week. In fact, exactly a week. The same thing happened on Sunday in Detroit, where he thought he had the pitcher read and left too soon.
Yeah, but he was a little bit too far off, and he tried to guess on when Salazar was going home, and Salazar had been thrown over there 3 or 4 times already.
Three and one on Escobar. Now talking about a large sample size, it's just 6 games, but hitting .409 and his on base percentage is .480. There are some players, when the responsibility is increased, you get the most out of that player. And for years, Alcides Escobar was just nagging Ned Yost. He wanted to lead off, wanted to be the Royals leadoff hitter. And the numbers just did not support him being a leadoff hitter. And in the middle of September last year, when the Royals were struggling, Ned put him in there, and that lasted until about 3 weeks ago. And he just pokes it the other way with 2 strikes. Now Escobar has another hit. He is 1 for 2 today, so he adds to that impressive average over his past week, and he's at first with 2 down.
Now that's nice. Look at that. He just going to shorten up and lay it out there. Yeah. Yeah, let's just reach out there, a little booty knock there. Let's just get on base for Alex. Maybe Alex can catch one. Alex 5 for 21 in his career. Off of Salazar. See if he can get that changeup. Was in the right spot there. If it's in the middle, that can get hurt. Royals are a solid hitting doubles team. Matter of fact, they're tied with the Indians for 3rd most doubles in the majors, with 286. The Blue Jays have more at 291. So these are some doubles hitting teams. They can score runs by hitting the gaps.
Out of play, 2 and 1. And no doubles yet today. The Royals have 3 singles. The Indians are without a hit so far. Center field. Now Monte didn't see it right away, and you can see the sun reflecting off of his glasses, but he's able to find it, make the catch, and in the inning. 2 hits, a runner was caught stealing, 1 left, and no score at the end of 3. Non-stop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2015 postseason beginning October 6th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. That would be a week from Tuesday. And we hope to be here a week from Thursday. Jason Kipnis opened the game with a strikeout against Chris Young. And Chris went on to retire the next 8. So he's begun today with 3 perfect innings. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's that high fastball there that he just threw Kipnis. The hitters have a hard time deciding whether they want to swing at that or not. It looks good, but it's usually a ball out of the zone. But some hitters, when that pitch is up, it's eye level, so that you see it really good, and it looks good to hit. But lots of pop-ups come from that pitch.
Going the other way, Dyson fades back, and he's got it. 10 up and 10 down so far against Chris Young.
Every day is special at the big league ballpark and for people and their birthdays. And I got a shout out for Betty Jean Durand, is 88 today watching. Born in 1927. Betty Durand, thank you so much for all of your Royal support. She never misses a game. Hope you have a great day.
Now Kane on the run, this time into left center field. 2 outs in the 4th inning for Young. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag KCDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. That's brought to you by T-Mobile. Hashtag KCDataStrongFan. Two down to Michael Brantley. Brantley flied to center in the 1st inning. Chris Young has 7 outs in the air. Only 2 outs on the ground and a couple of strikeouts. So that's very typical for him. Fly ball pitcher pitching in a fly ball ballpark with maybe a little bit of help to left field. The gentle breeze blowing from right to left. Outside, 2-1.
Yeah, Young, he's been extremely versatile this season for Ned Yost. Pitched out of the bullpen 16 times, also making 16. This is his 17th start. Bullpen, he was 2-0 with a 3.65. And that's one of the reasons why he'll get a job next year. He can pitch, he can start for you, he can be a long guy. He's a valuable pitcher, there's no doubt about it. He was the Royals pitcher of the month in May this year.
He is 36 years old, Chris Young. And a full count with Santana on deck. That's the Indians' first base runner. Brantley walks with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Mentioned that since his last start on July 28th, Chris Young has made 10 consecutive relief appearances, and he has not thrown more than 53 pitches in any of those relief appearances. And that 53 pitch game was 3 weeks ago. And this is pitch number 51. Brantley runs, and he is out. Brantley immediately says, take a look at it. Even the second base umpire and crew chief Dana DeMuth, almost as if he's saying, yeah, go ahead, take a look at it.
Well, it's the tag. The throw was good. It's on the third base side of the bag, but did that tag get in there on him? Nope. Looked like he beat it. But looks like doesn't work anymore.
They just showed it on Crown Vision, and not one Royals fan applauded, because they know what's coming. Even the most hopeful and biased of Royals fans could not muster up any applause. Now, at the end of the play, it looked like Brantley could have possibly come off the bag. And remember, when a call is reviewed, they have to look at the entire play. It's not just whether he tagged him or not. Well, now they're extending the video. Okay, did he stay on the bag? Did he pop up off the bag? Did Escobar keep his glove on him? So this is taking a lot longer than expected, and maybe that's what they're looking at now, is when Brantley popped up into a standing position after making contact, did he, for that little just a
right there, Escobar's got it on him. Is he off there?
Nope, he's going to be safe.
15th steal.
So a 2-out walk turns into a runner in scoring position. Carlos Santana lined to right in the second inning. 1 strike on him. He has driven in 3 in this series. Santana had the road series of a lifetime here last season. It was at the end of July, and in a 4-game series he had 9 hits and 5 home runs. It's the first time in the history of this ballpark that an opponent has had 5 home runs in one series. And it wasn't just that series. He's a .352 hitter here.
Young's being careful with him.
Changeup. 2-2.
Santana was guessing. You guessed wrong. That's what happens.
In on his hands, and he hits it into a big crowd, into the club level and out of the club level. Still 2-2. On a day like today, I can't help but think about 2 seasons ago against the Texas Rangers, and Justin Maxwell gave us the thrill of a lifetime with a walk-off grand slam. Royals were in a very similar position that the Indians are in right now, where they were mathematically in the wild card chase, but it was very slim. Royals had to win, and they had to rely on a lot of other teams to lose. And that's where the Indians are right now. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I'll never forget that game. That was exciting. I mean to tell you, that was the beginning of a lot of fun here. 14, this year 15. But that people didn't want to leave the ballpark that day. And outside, they were in the parking lot standing and still so excited and giddy over that grand slam that they didn't want to get in their cars and go home either.
Hold on the ground to Colon, who is in shallow right field, and that's the inning. So Chris Young gives up his first runner. He is not allowed a hit. And no score to the bottom of the 4th.
Let's get him some runs.
To you by Panera Bread. Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ram Trucks. Come in and get a great deal on the best trucks during Ram Truck Month. Gorgeous day at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals play their final home regular season game of the year, and it's going to cool down for the Royals as they head to Chicago and then Minneapolis. We're going to see some high temperatures in the 60s and low temperatures in the low 50s, maybe upper 40s during the upcoming week. Lorenzo Cain singled with 2 outs in the first inning against Salazar, took him to right field. Cain, Hosmer, Perez coming up. 2-1. The Royals have 3 singles against Salazar. The Indians have no hits against Chris Young. 2-2 on Cain. Let's go to Joel.
Well, these guys, Lorenzo Cain and Eric Hosmer, Ryan, may not know it, but there's a nice little race going on here for most hits this regular season at Kauffman Stadium. Lorenzo, with his hit earlier in the game, has 88, tied for most on the Royals with Eric Hosmer, who has 88. So we'll see how that one finishes up. 88 apiece. Lorenzo does have the highest batting average of anyone with regular time at Kauffman Stadium this year, and also home runs. Hosmer and Kendrys Morales have 10. Cain, Moustakas, and Salvador Perez with 9.
Won't be an easy play. Cain is safe. So he takes the lead with an infield hit. And for the second straight inning, the Royals have the leadoff man on.
Lorenzo Cain got out in front, and he just topped it and just in the right spot. Salazar made the play just right, but when you get a good start out of the box like that and you're leaning, you get a head start. And that's a long stride. He left right at the cutoff of that grass, and he made it all that way. That's a long stride.
Even the stride after he hit the bag was a long stride. That's about as far as you can go with basically one step.
Yep, amazing. When you get that kind of head of speed going, and then you have those long legs like Lopane does. And let's check it out. Watch this real time.
And now Hosmer with the infield back and shifted, tries to drop down a bunt.
Okay, not a bad idea, but on a fastball, we mentioned it before when Gerard Dyson couldn't get the bunt down with those high fastballs. That's a tough one to bunt. And Haas, you'd much rather see him hit a 2-run homer.
He does have 4 bunt hits this year.
Yep.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Salazar struck him out with a changeup in the first inning. Otherwise, Hosmer has good numbers against Salazar and 18 at-bats, 7 hits, and 2 home runs. 2-1. Looking down at third base coach Mike Jerschele. Slider down and in. 2-2. And first time Hosmer came to the plate today in the first inning. Salazar got him to chase 2 pitches like that early in the count.
And he might go right back with that same pitch in the same spot.
It's a fastball away. And Hosmer goes the other way. Kane to third. Mike Jerschele's going to send him. Lindor's relay is not close. Eric Hosmer ties Kane with his 89th hit at home. He picks up his 88th RBI, and the Royals lead 1-0.
And his 32nd double, timely fashion. Another off-speed pitch, but Haas, he said, you know, I'm going to not try to pull him. I'm going to go to the opposite field. Let's see what pitch it was. Oh, no, he tried to sneak a piece of cheese by him. Haas stuck that ball, hit it right where it was pitched. Beautiful swing. 150 on it in his career double. Way to go. Lorenzo Kane, let's check him out. Watch him hit the inside part of the base. In the third, coming around third, he's going to slice that corner. Beautiful.
Now Salvador Perez goes into center field. Hosmer will be held as Almonte got to it quickly. He was not deep. 3 straight hits to begin the bottom of the 4th inning, and now runners at first and third.
And just before the inning started, I was thinking to myself, when's the last time we saw some frenzy style hitting? It's been a long time. And looky here, we got a little something going. That ball right back up the middle. Same place he hit it his first time up, but the shift got him. This time, Haas with a good takeaway, got a good jump, but Jersch said with nobody out, we got some good hitters coming up. Why take a chance of getting him thrown out?
And one of those hitters coming up, Mike Moustakas, is averaging a little over an RBI per game in his last 30 games. Outside for ball 1. He grounded out to the first baseman Santana in the 2nd inning. He's had a tough time with Salazar, although half of his hits are home runs.
Their defense playing him straight up. Moose wants to think opposite field. keep him away from rolling into a double play here. Good swing. Nice stroke. When you try to pull the ball, your hands roll over it. Lots of times he gets that ground ball he wants. Staying inside the ball like Moose has mastered this year. He's got a chance to get an RBI home and then more.
Another fastball. 98. Man, how many fastballs at 98 has Salazar had today?
Yeah, and it's elevated, so you're going to get up underneath it, but it looks good. And Moustakas, look at that. He's mastered it. Huge difference, and one of the reasons why Moose is hitting over 280.
Pulled into the crowd, going down and getting a low slider.
These fans, they sat on their hands for most of the night last night, but today they're different. That Hosmer double scoring Kane brought him up, got him into it.
Royals are shooting for a 500 homestand in their final homestand of the year. They took 2 out of 3 from Seattle, which included clinching the Central Division on Thursday, and now they've dropped the first 2 with Cleveland. 1-2 on Moustakas. Kipnis, great diving play. A run scores. Hosmer comes down from third. Perez goes to second. Well, Moustakas hits a ground ball but avoids a double play and gets his 77th RBI.
Yeah, Moose was competing in that at bat. Liked it. Stayed inside on that one candy hop there. Had that ball stayed down, it might have gotten by Kipnis, but it jumped up on him. Salvi in scoring position, still less than 2. Rios looking to pick him up.
Fastball away. Rios flied out to right field in the second inning.
Salvi would love to score his 50th run right here, but Jershely might have to hold him depending on how hard the ball's hit on a routine single. Ooh, he took a good rip there on 1-up. Brantley in left field. He's got a good arm. He's got 8 outfield assists. Almonte, you see how he closes in on the ball. That makes his arm better. He's got good speed in center, but he's got a couple assists. Chisenhall has 5 in right.
Rios fights it off and hits it off the side wall. And now it's 1-2. That away. Waited till the last home game to get a souvenir. Take that to school tomorrow for show and tell.
Why not?
2-2. Rios just stares at Salazar as Salazar went to the back of the mound. And lays off the changeup. 3-2. Rios, part of his between pitch routine, doesn't step all the way out of the box, just kind of steps back with his front foot, his left foot, and just stares at the pitcher and watches him. Watches the pitcher's in between pitch routine. Santana comes over from first, and there are 2 down. So Perez at second base, hoping that Christian Colon can get him home. And Chris was on with a leadoff single in the 3rd inning.
Colon stepping in, hitting .250 this year with a runner in scoring position. He has the ability to get some big hits, find the hole. He's not a guy who's looking to pull, especially against Salazar, who's got a good mid-90s fastball and above. Has the right idea. You don't get a chance to play her very often. You want to try to hit the ball where it comes from, stay up the middle, big hole.
Strike with a fastball at 96. This has been a Royals specialty this year, hitting with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. They're best in the major leagues, while the Indians have struggled. Only 2 teams have been worse than they have been, hitting .199 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Terry Francona's team has a lot of strengths, and it's hard to believe the Indians have struggled the way that they have and how they played the Royals this year. But here they are, just 1 game above 500. 2 balls and 1 strike.
They're a couple of players away, Cleveland Indians. They've got a pitching staff already. They'll take a week or so off, and then they'll head to meetings, talking with Brad Mills, Terry Francona's bench coach. He's telling me they got a lot of work to be done. There's Millsy. Brad Mills, in his playing career, didn't have a long playing career. Ended with a knee injury. Was a huge part of history as a player.
Okay.
Let's see after Colon gets a base hit here. I'll take the walk. Yeah, Brad Mills became Nolan Ryan's 3,509th career strikeout victim, and that lifted Ryan past the great Hall of Famer Walter Big Train Johnson as an all-time strikeouts leader. And Brad Mills was that guy. So I said, Millsy, what about the bat? Do you have the bat still? He goes, Hud, I'd love to have the bat, but the Hall of Fame came calling, and they wanted it, and his bat is in the Hall of Fame in a Nolan Ryan display, the all-time strikeout leader. He said it was in Montreal. All the players before the game on the Expos were talking about it. Nolan needed 8 or 9 strikeouts that game. So, you know, they were all saying, who's going to be the victim? They were putting a little bit of money in. Hey, who's going to win the pot? You know, and no one mentioned Brad Mills because he was a pinch hitter. And he came in and pinched hit. And he said he didn't realize that he was going to be the guy until the 2-1 pitch came. It was high, and they thought it was a strike there dugout. And Mills was a left-handed hitter, and he saw the Astros all celebrating, and it was a ball. And he realized then I was going to be the victim. And then Nolan Ryan threw him a curveball for strike 3.
Danny Duffy warms up behind Chris Young, who's gone 4 hitless innings, but hasn't had a start in almost exactly 2 months. And now the Royals have had a long inning in the bottom of the 4th. Dyson takes high. He has Perez at second base and Colon at first. Gerard flied to right in the 3rd inning after first trying to drop down a sacrifice bunt.
And that year was 1983, by the way, that Mills became Nolan's strikeout victim. All right, 2 outs. Salazar looked at Demuth, the umpire, and said, hey, do I have the count right? Do I have the outs right? Okay, I can pitch now. Outfield shallow.
Didn't mean to make contact. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now they're working in the Indians bullpen.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gerard Dyson, you know, he can fly. And he occasionally will pull out a good level swing and make some solid contact. Hope he can hit the gap. He's got 6 triples this year, 6 doubles. It's exciting when he can get that ball in the gap.
And now head in the count, 2-1.
Dyson does have 2 home runs this year.
And he almost hit one against Carrasco in the game on Friday. Hit hard to second, and Kipnis handles a tricky hop, and that's the inning. The Royals get 2 runs. Lorenzo Cain reaches with an infield single, and then Eric Hosmer doubles to left, driving in Cain, and then Hosmer scores on a ground out, and the Royals lead 2-0.
A beautiful Sunday afternoon. Chris Young, no hits allowed so far. Reminiscent perhaps of his start June 9th at Minnesota, where he did have a no-hitter going through 6 1/3 that day before Trevor Plouffe broke it up with a triple, but then Franklin Morales and Kelvin Herrera came in and retired the next 2. Learned a lot about Chris that day, and we know he's such an intelligent guy, and he's a very well thought out guy. And I said to him the next day, you guys might remember this, do you believe in superstitions and jinxes? Were the players talking to you or not talking to you? He said, well, first of all, it was a 1-0 game. The last thing I'm thinking about at that point is the amount of hits in the game. I just wanted to try to keep the lead, maybe very similar to this year with the 2-0 lead. And the other thing he said, it'll stick with me, I think, forever, is baseball has a way of making people very irrational.
Like not talking to guys or
bringing it up. You know, he pointed something out, and I know, Ryan, you've always talked about Vin Scully saying the words no-hitter because that's what's going on. You're telling the people. And he remembered a game in San Diego. I think it was a Greg Maddux no-hitter or something like that, and he's going to get the pop-up here as long as Moose sees it in the sun, and he does. But I don't remember all the details, but it was something along the lines of a Greg Maddux no-hitter or someone. And we'll see some of the highlights from June 9th. But he said Tony Gwynn was announcing that game, the Hall of Famer, and he was the analyst. And Tony Gwynn mentioned that there was a no-hitter going on, and he said he took so much abuse, Tony Gwynn of all people, from the fans. And Chris was on that team, and he said it had nothing to do with anything. I mean, none of that even makes sense. He's a very real guy. He's someone that doesn't buy into all the jinxes and all the crazy stuff in baseball. But then again, we're reminded that that's kind of what makes baseball fun.
Ball one to Abraham Almonte. Do you believe in the uttering the words no-hitter jinx?
Well, you know, coming from the dugout, it was never mentioned in there. And as a broadcaster, you know, with Fizz for 11 years, he taught me the same way Vin. He says, look, you got to you got to say what's going on for somebody who's just tuning in, and the players can't hear us. And
right.
so I believe that broadcasters should be able to say what's going on. Not that I have to say it, but my partner does. Chris Young at his best. Last two pop-ups.
And by the way, guys, for the record, Vin Scully, who does say he's got a no-hitter or a perfect game, has broadcasted 23 no-hitters. So
there you go. There you go.
10 outs in the air and only 3 on the ground. Chris Young is not allowed a hit in 4 2/3 innings. He's only allowed 1 base runner. That was a 2-out walk to Brantley last inning.
Yeah, and we mentioned how he hasn't thrown a whole lot of pitches beyond this point here, and Danny Duffy, he's out there in that pen waiting. This will probably be the last inning for Chris Young, which has been unfortunate. Too bad he doesn't have 120 pitches in his tank today, as he is mixing them very well. Fastball, slider, combination, occasional changeups that have been well placed.
Kane having a tough time seeing it, and he's able to find it. That was a tough inning for the defense. Mostly routine plays except for the sun, which made it difficult on Moustakas, Escobar, and Kane. And Chris Young has 5 hitless innings. Championship year. Just head to one of the 3 Kansas City locations or the Topeka store to join in on the celebration. Academy Sports and Outdoors is the official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. Salazar gets a low strike. Alcides Escobar questions home plate umpire Ed Hickox. And Esky now steps out. He is lined to center and single to right. Batting in the leadoff spot today. Back with a changeup, and the count is 0-2.
Slider changeup. He knows Escobar's like looking to ambush that fastball.
One ball, 2 strikes. for the record, and I'm not insinuating anything, but the Royals were 76-49 with Escobar as a leadoff hitter.
Something's going on with Escobar. Now he just kind of had a little abbreviated swing. Looks like they're checking his left elbow.
Sometimes when a player tweaks a muscle or some area that just doesn't feel right, it feels foreign. Never had that sensation before. It's just nice to have the trainer come out and feel the area and tell you that everything's all right.
Exactly. These players, they need a little TLC, little attention.
The Royals got their 2 runs last inning. Eric Hosmer doubled in Lorenzo Cain, and then Hosmer scored on a ground out from Moustakas. Escobar taking a shot at the other way. Breaking ball stayed up, so he comes back from 0-2. Alex Gordon is on deck, followed by Lorenzo Cain.
See if Kyle Turner, the assistant athletic trainer, puts a little base hit in that arm.
Left field, well hit into the sun. Brantley has just enough room. So a good at bat for Escobar to come back, get a good swing on Salazar. And now 1 down to Alex Gordon.
Yeah, milked a few of those pitches. 88 for Salazar. Wind picking up here at the K. Blowing to left center field. Speaking about the wind, and the Royals playing in Wrigley Field in Chicago tomorrow, the wind there can affect the game greatly. It's either blowing in hard or out hard. And as players, when you go there, that's the first thing you check when you get to the ballpark on the bus. You look and see what the flags are doing.
And this time of year, that can also affect the temperature by 20 or 30 degrees.
Better believe it. The wind is a key part of day baseball element, and nighttime too. Ooh, good change.
That is Salazar's 3rd strikeout in his first since the first inning. So he's another big strikeout pitcher for the Indians. But tonight the Royals have kept the strikeouts to a minimum. Three strikeouts and 4 2/3. That's a swing. Lorenzo's 2 for 2. He had a 2-out single in the first inning, and then a leadoff infield single in the 4th, which got the Royals going. They went on to score 2, and Cain scored one of the runs. And shot to right field. That's the second time he's done that today against Salazar. Just kind of stay back. Nice compact swing and a base hit to right. Cain is 3 for 3.
Yeah, using that opposite field, that's going to get Locaine locked and loaded for a home run ball very soon.
That'll bring up Eric Hosmer. Already today, 1 for 2 with a double, an RBI, and a run scored, and he was one of the players to watch at DraftKings.com. Go to DraftKings.com, enter the promo code BRoyal to play daily fantasy baseball for 0-3. Hosmer, like Kane, trying to go the other way today against Salazar. His double was on a fastball at 98, and he took it to left field for a double.
That's one of the reasons why Salazar didn't want to challenge Hosmer with fastball. So he's mixing in a lot of his secondary pitches on Eric, and Eric just picked out a perfect fastball away. And Salazar thought he could get away with a piece of cheese outside, but Hos is a little bit hungry.
It's good balance.
Yeah, it is.
Hosmer getting hits to all fields, and he lays off that pitch.
Salazar wanted that one.
Lorenzo Cain is hitting .309 after another 3-hit game. Changeup on 2-0. Even with a fastball anywhere from 96 to 98, Hosmer still can't expect a fastball in a hitter's count against a guy like Salazar.
And that comes from respect and the fact that Salazar's been bitten by Hosmer's home run before. Once you've been bitten by the dog, you remember.
Hold on the ground to Kipnis. And that'll do it for the Royals in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 hit, 1 left to the 6th. Denny Matthews will join us. The Royals lead 2-0. The final out on Thursday. The Royals clinching the 2015 American League Central Division title, taking 2 out of 3 from the Seattle Mariners. It wasn't easy getting there. The Royals' hot season cooled off for about a month, but this made it official. And now we just wait and see where the Royals will be in the first round as we welcome in Denny Matthews.
1 week to go, and we'll find out. 1 week from this very moment, we'll have a pretty good idea, won't we?
That's right. And your call on radio, I heard that you said the Royals have officially won the Central Division, because you had declared that they won that division several weeks before, but that made it official.
That did. Early June, they clinched. Everybody was asking me, when are the Royals going to clinch? And I said, well, June 22nd. Yeah, it was pretty obvious, wasn't it? And it wasn't the fact that Cleveland was, well, they took themselves out of it in April. What were they, 7-14 in April? And really never threatened, although they have I think, a good rotation. But there are other elements of their team that are lacking. But yeah, it was a great run, almost wire to wire. That's very unusual for the Royals.
Danny Duffy, a Chevy call to the bullpen. He gets a little pop up from Ramirez. And that was interesting. Eric Hosmer, instead of using his glove to shade his eyes, he just had his throwing hand out in front of his eyes.
Yeah, Kane did the same thing in the last inning.
So we have Denny and Danny, and Danny Duffy picking up for Chris Young, who had 5 hitless innings and only allowed 1 base runner, and that was a 2-out walk to Brantley in the 4th inning.
It reminds me of the Len Barker story. Tell Chris Young I hope he does better next time. It's pretty,
Go ahead.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Len Barker's grandmother, wasn't it?
Yeah, Len Barker, who pitched for Cleveland, threw a no-hitter at Toronto back in the early 80s. And before cell phones, so he jumps on the phone in the clubhouse after he'd thrown his no-hitter. And he called home. His folks lived in Florida, and his, I think, 92-year-old grandmother lived with them. And everybody was on the phone, and the father, Len's father, told the grandmother, Leonard pitched a no-hitter tonight against Toronto. And his grandmother said, "Oh, wow, that is so wonderful. You tell Leonard I'm very proud of him. And tell him I hope he does better next time."
And did
wow. That's a pretty tough audience there, isn't it? Wow. But I hope Chris Young does better next time.
You too.
Yeah, no pressure for Danny Duffy.
Perez struck out against Chris Young in the 3rd inning. I still picture Chris Young pitching here late in the playoffs on a cold night with the wind blowing in and saying, "Here you go, guys," pitching up in the strike zone and tempting hitters to try and hit the ball out of the ballpark, just playing right into his strengths.
Throw strikes, work quick, which he does. And by the way, I've got a pretty good defense back of me.
Yeah, that's beautiful backdoor curve. And that's exactly what Ned Yost wanted out of a starter and Chris Young. And because he dazzled so brilliantly here, getting out of that 1st inning 1-2-3, which has been a problem, that's how you answer when your skipper gives you the opportunity. Now Young might get another shot at it. Great pitch there. Kept it out of the middle.
So this actually works out perfectly for Danny Duffy, because this is what the Royals are envisioning for him in the playoffs. Starter maybe goes 5 innings if that happens, maybe even 4 innings. That's just the way it goes in the playoffs. And bringing in Danny Duffy in a close game in the middle innings, and if he's on, I mean, he's a nice long bridge to the back end of that bullpen.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys look at him, but to me, watching Duffy this year, he seems so much more relaxed coming out of the bullpen, doesn't he?
Sure does.
I don't know what the difference is. Mindset. It's some guys are like that. Some guys just feel better coming out of the bullpen. Some guys feel better as starters. You put them in the bullpen, they're lost. Some guys as starters, they struggle. Put them in the bullpen, and boy, the light goes on. The comfort level is there, confidence, and they come out of the bullpen breathing fire and throwing fire sometimes.
Yeah, when you have that fastball like that, that's what you do. And I think, and I've heard Danny say that he can let it all out. He's in the bullpen. You know, he can come in here and throw more fastballs, and when you have that plus fastball, just will get a lot of swing and misses just like that.
And a little spin on the front foot. He has Kipnis throwing his helmet in frustration.
Tell him I hope he does better next inning.
Right. 2 strikeouts for Duffy, and now it's Salvador Perez leading off the bottom of the 6th inning when we come back. 2-0 Royals to the bottom of the 6th inning. Salvador Perez, Mike Moustakas, and Alex Rios. They're coming up in our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Jillian Marks from Drexel, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Jillian wins $1,500. Strike one to Salvador Perez. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Jillian wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Royals. Sal is 1 for 2 with a single to center field. Here's pitch number 100, and it's in for a strike. A 32-pitch 4th inning, and the Royals scored their runs in that inning against Salazar. And now 1-2 on Sal.
A little bit of an odd situation for Salazar, who is a strikeout pitcher. 2 in the 1st inning, and you're thinking, uh-oh. Well, the strikeout of Alex in inning number 5 was his first since the 1st. So where did the strikeouts go?
Brantley makes a play in left field. They are ready in the Indians bullpen, and as we show you the Indians bullpen, here comes Terry Francona out of the 3rd base dugout. Mike Moustakas is coming up, and Terry Francona wants the lefty. That's Kyle Crockett coming on to face Mike Moustakas. October means baseball, and FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins October 8th on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. If the season ended after the game last night, the Royals would be at home against Texas, and Toronto would be at home against the winner of the Yankee-Astro wild card game. We learned a little bit last year, Denny, firsthand, both the pros and the cons of having home field advantage. I mean, I think it's just a given that you take home field advantage if it's given to you without any question. As Crockett throws a strike to Mike Moustakas. He is 0 for 2 with an RBI so far today, but the Royals seem to somehow take having road field advantage, if you will, taking advantage of that.
Yeah, and you open at home, and that 3 out of 5 death trap that you face, all teams 3 out of 5 engaged in that. To me, and thinking back to the way the Angels played against the Royals last year, they were tighter than a drum. The Royals were as loose as they could possibly be and relaxed and having fun. So, okay, a lot of pressure. Angels had the best record in baseball, right? They open at home, right? big advantage. But they were tighter than a drum, and Royals win the first game 3 out of 5. You lose the first game at home in a 3 out of 5, you are in full scramble from that point on.
And here's the guy at the plate who made that happen. He had the extra inning home run in game 1, Mike Moustakas. So with that being said, would you prefer to open at home against the winner of the wild card game, 2 down as Moustakas strikes out, or would you prefer to open the first round of the playoffs at home against another division winner who also had 3 days off, just like the Royals will have?
Well, that's a great question. Well, how do you match up with who you're going to play? I think first and foremost that's important. So here we go again with the Cleveland bullpen.
Denny, I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
Because we want to wish a happy birthday to one of the original Royals. Dave Wickersham turns 80 today, and you as well, an original Royal.
I thought you were going to say you too turn 80. That's where I thought you were going. Thank you, man. Had me nervous there. Yeah, Wick was terrific. I'll tell you what, he was a veteran when he joined the Royals that first year. Really helped the young pitchers. Wonderful guy, really a good teammate, and very helpful, and a good pitcher. He fashioned a pretty nice career, and he could work out of the bullpen. I knew he was a starter before joining the Royals. So yeah, happy birthday to Wick. Good guy, good man.
So Ryan Webb comes on. He is the 3rd pitcher in this inning. Terry Francona is going to try and use 3 pitchers to get 3 outs. Alex Rios is 0 for 2. And a slider's in for a strike.
Webb sinker slider guy, not overpowering, and try to get some ground ball outs or out with 2.
Oh, and 2. We had the postseason brackets up a couple of minutes ago. Have you filled out your bracket yet?
No.
Kind of like March Madness in a way now, isn't it?
This time of year, I think it's more maddening though for a lot of cities and teams out there, though, that are chewing their fingernails.
3 pitchers, 3 outs. Salazar gets the first out, Crockett gets the second out, and Webb gets the 3rd out. 2-0 Royals to the top of the 7th inning, and as we promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Thank you, Barb. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag KC Data Strong Fan for a chance to have it featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. All right, all that success with HDH. Now today we might see our first MHD. Madsen in the 7th, Herrera in the 8th, and Davis in the 9th. Lindor bunts, very good one. Moustakas picks it up, throws, and Hosmer saved a worse play. So Lindor is on with a bunt single. He is 1 for 3. That's the first hit, and Royals fans were booing because the Royals had a chance perhaps at a combined no-hitter, but the Indians are trying to win this game.
Better believe it. That's a great bunt. I was surprised Moose even threw it. This is what you call a pocket ball. Just put that in your pocket. Excellent bunt. Nothing wrong with that at all.
It's a pretty good player right there, Lindor.
Sure is. Calm under pressure. No pressure to him. Of course, he's extremely talented, and he's living off that confidence. Wants to steal a base.
That's just the second base runner for the Indians all day. The first base runner was Michael Brantley with a 2-out walk in the 4th. And now Madsen's behind 2 balls and no strikes. Denny, can you think of another Royals championship caliber season where so many low risk players were involved, so-called fringe guys? Maybe that's how they were regarded in spring training, having such a big impact on a championship caliber team.
No, not as many, not even close. I can think maybe sometimes one guy would come in and make a difference. Well, good example, and go back no further than last year when Ibanez joined the team, and he contributed on the field obviously, but he contributed far more in the clubhouse, in the dugout, and on the airplanes. But no, to answer your question, certainly not in those numbers.
Lindor looks like he wants to run. He's not going. And now 3 balls and 1 strike. We just go down the list. Ryan Madsen, non-roster invitee. Franklin Morales, non-roster invitee. Joe Blanton's no longer with us, but he had an impact filling in for injured starters. Chris Young showing up in the middle of spring training. Paulo Orlando barely making the club, and some of the big hits that he had.
And it's a case of you bring those guys in. What do you have to lose? What do they have to lose? So it's really a no pressure situation for everybody involved, which is nice, because if you're under pressure trying to play this game or general manage or manage this game, why, it's not as successful for you. But if everybody's loose and confident, and again free and relaxed, why, you're better for it.
And now the Indians have 2 on with nobody out. Madsen gives up the bunt single and now a walk.
And guys, I think it's also a case of good scouting, and you listen to your scouts, and the Royals front office, I think, is very good at trading information back and forth. And so what about this guy? Well, he didn't have a great year last year, but what do you think? Well, let's try him. Let's put him in the cauldron in spring training, and let's give him a lot of at bats in spring training. I'm talking about Morales, and see what he's got. Has he got anything left? Well, he's got over 100 RBIs left. That's a pretty good sign right there.
Low risk, high reward.
Yes, exactly.
Santana has lined to right and grounded out to second base. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Madsen cut fastball in the low 90s. He'll reach 97 with his 4-seamer. Great changeup.
And with him in this role, first of all, you're getting a former major league closer who once saved 32 games for a playoff team, but he pitched in the World Series in 2008, the World Series in 2009, as deep as the National League Championship Series in 2010, and the first round of the playoffs in 2011. Right field, back goes Rios. He is at the track and brings it down. And immediately, from our vantage point, you watch Rios make the catch and look up above him at the flags, and they are blowing in from right field.
Yep, that was a changeup that Santana sat on. Almost got it out of the park. See, he was off balance, but had a really nice, easy swing. Lindor tagged at second. He's in scoring position now with less than 2.
We're going to talk it over what they want to do with Lonnie Chisenhall. Chisenhall, remember, was removed from the game just last night because he had some cramping in his hamstring. So a ground ball here isn't an automatic double play, but I like the Royals' chances. Fouled away, 0-1.
Chisenhall hasn't grounded into a double play all season long. He is due. Way overdue. Madsen has induced 3 ground ball double plays. Usually gets it on that changeup.
Back to Madsen with a line drive, and he threw it away, and the Indians are going to get a run. The Royals are going to appeal at third, and they're going to say that Lindor did tag up. Madsen by far got the most difficult part of that play out of the way. Hosmer looks a little surprised over at first that no out was called in his attempt to tag out Brantley. So the Royals might have a couple of things to look at. They are going to ask to look at the play at first base. Hosmer is still in a seated position outside of first, stunned that no out was called. That was just a wacky play all around.
Oh, I mean to tell you, Madsen has the ability. You mentioned all the experience in postseason to slow the game down, and right here he had a little more time and he just goosed the throw. Haas alertly on his toes. Looked like he tagged him. Brantley over there at first base, and then from his seat realized Lindor tagged up. It's a better angle right here. Oh man, all he's got to do is just make a decent throw. See, Haas tagged Brantley with his glove and had the ball in his hand, in his throwing hand.
Well, he never tagged.
Okay, so
if they don't, now this will be interesting. If they lose their challenge at first, we're in the 7th inning or later, can the Royals then request an umpire's review for the play at third base?
Okay, interesting, but Hosmer tagged Brantley with his glove, but the ball was in his throwing hand. So they'll lose this one at first. But you mentioned it. He did not. I was shocked to see he would on the tag at third.
Okay, so the Royals challenge is denied, but now can you ask for an umpire's review right after you lose a challenge? Or is this one of those technical issues where, you know, another play or another pitch, and apparently you cannot.
But Moose is making a Moose's arm is he's pointing to third, saying Lindor never tagged up.
saying that's not what I saw. Well, clearly the third base umpire Mike Estabrook just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
it is. He wasn't looking. He was not looking. So I don't blame Ned. I mean, I don't know if this has come up before. You lose your challenge, but you still have the right to ask for an umpire's review. This has happened before. You lose your challenge in the third inning. You get to the seventh inning or later. You have the right to ask for an umpire's review. But does there have to be another pitch? Does there have to be another play?
And I'm glad that Ned's alerted to that play at third base, because he was clearly out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he didn't go back and tag. Now it's an umpire's review.
And now the Indians are upset.
Yeah, now because Francona knows he didn't tag up.
Well, Estabrook called him safe when they appealed at first, and you described it, Ryan, as a wacky play. Well, Estabrook is human, and the goofiness of the play at first base, the line drive to the pitcher, probably diverted his attention. Now, not that it should have. I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm just saying that's possibly what would have happened. Yeah, it was pretty clear that he never did go back and tag.
So maybe in the long run, Chisenhall will hit into his first double play of the year. Now the fans, they just saw that Lindor didn't tag at third base, and that's the reason for the racket.
And the Royals are coming off the field before the umpires have made a call, because it is obvious that this inning is going to come to an end.
Escobar's getting in trouble from the home plate umpire. Hosmer, he's telling those guys to get back out on the field.
You know, what will also be interesting to hear from Ned Yost after the game. Okay, now are we finding out that you're not allowed to have back-to-back challenges?
On the same play?
Yeah, this doesn't look good.
So now, okay, apparently it looks like challenge is out of the question. Now the umpires just need to get together and get it right.
Well, one of the umpires had to see that he did not tag up, and I think that's what home plate umpire Ed Hickox.
Well, they've shown it up on Crown Vision.
Right.
I'll be interested to hear after the game, getting back to Ned Yost. Everything happened so quickly that when Bill Duplessis said challenge, you know, there were two different things going on. For my money, it was easy to assume that you wanted to challenge at first base, because Hosmer tried to tag and the runner went down.
But again, I'll go back to the diversion of the play because of the nature of the play. What are the other three umpires who had been watching third base while that line drive was caught and then the play at first base happened? The other three umpires couldn't have been watching the guy at third base.
Right.
That was Estabrook's job, but he may have had his attention diverted too. Don't know.
Okay, now he's going to talk to Terry Francona. Interesting. Remember, this is so eerie. The Royals' last homestand last year, there was a loss to the Tigers when replay did not have Salvador Perez failing to go back and tag against the Tigers, but they did have it on Crown Vision. The umpires saw that, they got it right, and now a little twisting of the rules here, and now the umpires are just trying to get it right, because they've seen on one of the biggest high definition screens in North America that Lindor did not go back to first base.
And Hud, if it is a double play, and you mentioned that Chisenhall had not hit into a double play, it would be the longest hit into a double play in baseball history.
I said first base and tag up at third base.
Let's see him ring him up. Yes! After all that, he's got to go.
Well, Denny, how about we finish on that one for the day?
That was interesting, wasn't it? See you guys.
The Uverse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT. By your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Well, we all just received a lesson in replay rules with a crazy play to end the top of the 7th inning. And what it seems we have learned is that when a challenge is used and the challenge is lost, even if it's the 7th inning or later, the manager, that same manager who just lost his challenge, cannot ask for an umpire's review. Umpire's review are requested from the 7th inning or later, and I don't think there has been one that was denied. But Dana DeMuth and the third base umpire Mike Estabrook, who made the call incorrectly that Lindor had tagged and come home on the line drive, they went to the headsets. They then took the headsets off and did not make a call. Then the umpires all gathered. Dana DeMuth went over and talked to Ned Yost. Ned Yost went to go talk to the umpires. Dana DeMuth went across the diamond to talk to Terry Francona, and in the end, they got it right.
Mike Estabrook, the third base umpire, he's only human. He got caught up in watching the play at first base, and he didn't even realize that Lindor didn't go back and tag, and so when they threw the ball down there to appeal, he called him safe, but at least they got the play right. That's the bottom line. Getting the call right, the double play out of the inning, take that run off the board for Cleveland. Back with a 2-0 lead.
Christian Colon is batting against Ryan Webb, who got the last out of the bottom of the 6th. Back to Webb on one hop, and there is one out. The most popular way to follow the Royals on their way to the postseason is with MLB.com At Bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat brings you baseball wherever you are with live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcast, and more. You know, another part of that play, now that we've gotten past the wacky part of it, was the beginning. And Ryan Madsen handling that line drive from Lonnie Chisenhall, but basically watching the replay again, Chisenhall just hit the ball into Madsen's glove. I mean, if Madsen had to move his glove 6 inches in any direction, that probably ends up getting by him for a base hit.
Okay, Ryan Madsen displayed what we call soft hands. See that? We landed right in his glove, but his glove wasn't stiff and the ball stayed in it because there was a little bit of give on the glove part, and that's what you use the term soft hands. I had a fan the other day in the parking lot coming into the K.
Dyson is safe. Ball was thrown away. Dyson went straight up the line. He never made a move towards second base.
Just another infield hit, the third of the afternoon by the Royals. Anyway, the fan asked me, he says, hey, my wife wanted to know what you meant by soft hands. You know, we were talking about guys that have soft hands. Now, it's not the Palmolive lotion type soft hands I'm talking about. It's about the give. It's about the give. Here's the give. When you catch that ball, you have an opportunity to catch that ball with your glove hand. If it's stiff and you go at it like this, that ball will bounce out. Soft hands is a little give. You have a little give to it. On a hard smash, you see a little give. That's considered soft hands. You turn that ball into a marshmallow. And
that sounds really good.
Yeah, it is.
I'm kind of hungry right now.
Yeah, especially when you can give with that. And now you know how you develop soft hands?
I don't know.
Take that tennis ball, go out in your spare time when you come home from school, throw it against the wall, and catch it barehanded. In a tennis ball, if you use stiff hands, you can't catch the ball.
It'll bounce off your palm.
It'll bounce right off. But I did that coming home from school with nothing to do to kill time. End up being a big league infielder. You just never know if you can. But you can develop those soft hands.
By the way, I'm not laughing at you and your soft hands. That was a lot of me just in the background, wondering why am I sitting here. If I could have a do-over there, I just would have been able to just slide off a camera. But
no,
anyway,
it was all about the hands, you know. So
and then you started talking about marshmallows.
You turn that ball into a marshmallow when you have good soft hands. We've seen Salvi do that all the time behind the plate. And Ryan Madson showed some of that line drive back to him.
Escobar had something either fly by his eyes or maybe a little perspiration coming down his forehead. He asked for time. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com. You'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Dyson, you get the feeling he is revving his engine. Swaying back and forth, not running, and a fastball is inside on Escobar. Escobar is 1 for 3. Batting leadoff today. Ben Zobrist is getting the day off. So Ned Yost elected to slide Alex Gordon down to the number 2 spot and bat Escobar, who has swung the bat well in his last 7 games. And now the count is 1-1.
Webb, a sinker slider type pitcher, ground ball guy.
Dyson gets a jump. He needs to go. He's got 26 steals. Been caught just 3 times this year.
That'll get Dyson to second base, and it's close at first, but Kipnis gets Escobar. And now 2 down.
Thought that high chopper might turn into another infield hit, but Kipnis played it well.
Alex today is the DH. Is 0 for 3 so far. Base hit right field. So Alex picked the right time for his only hit of the day. He drives in Dyson, and the Royals lead is 3-0.
Alex was hunting a fastball up, and he got it. Right down the middle. 94. Might have been Webb's best, or velocity-wise, fastball at 94, but it was elevated, and hitters love that. Gerard Dyson, with a little bit of a blown tire around third base, is able to coast on into home for the 3rd run.
So the Indians will talk about it on the mound, and they'll go to work in the bullpen. And it'll be Zach McAllister. Or will it be Zach McAllister?
Well, usually the manager makes the pitching change, but McAllister, he ran all the way in, almost got all the way to the infield before. Now he's got to go all the way back, because Callahan is the pitching coach. Callaway.
Escorted back into the bullpen by a Kansas City police officer.
Now we'll never know. This could be another turning point in this ball game.
A lot of crazy stuff going on this afternoon here. Last home game at the K.
Well, you can understand that a Cleveland Indians team this late in the game, if somebody comes out of the dugout, there's probably going to be a pitching change.
The way he mixes and matches.
Yeah, I mean, even his own pitchers figured there was going to be a change.
And you know, you can't see if it's Francona or the pitching coach from out in the bullpen, but usually they have the phones, you know, and they use the phones. That's what they're out there for. And a pitching coach or a manager that makes that change puts his right arm up, signaling for a right-hander, or a left hand up, signaling for the left-hander. But there was no signal made by Callaway. And McAllister just said, I'm coming in.
Strike to Kane. Lorenzo is 3 for 3 today. 3 singles. And he has a run scored. Royals come up with a huge defensive play in the top of the 7th inning to prevent a run or runs. And now in the next half inning, they score a run. And how often does that happen? Either side. Scoring opportunity is wasted in one half inning, and the other team scores in the next half inning.
Hello, buddy. Glad you're here.
Got his glove. He's got his rally cap on.
He's here to see Lorenzo Cain possibly get his 10th career 4-hit game.
Slider got him looking. Royals get a run. Dyson reaches with an infield single. Alex Gordon drives him home. And at the end of 7, the Royals lead is 3-0.
As the Royals end up averaging over 33,000 a game this year. Panera takes us around the league. Toronto wins it via a walk-off. New York all over Chicago. Houston behind Dallas Keuchel. He's undefeated at home, winning 3-1. And Seattle and LA are underway at 1 apiece. Our Mazda game break takes us to Toronto. Tampa Bay led 4-1. Toronto tied it at 4. And they went to the 9th tied. And Josh Donaldson hit a home run to win it. We have seen this story over and over again as the Blue Jays trying to maintain pace with the Royals, or maybe it's vice versa. They're tied right now, or now a half a game up, but they've got the tiebreaker, if that all makes sense. Coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, we'll talk about that wacky series of challenges and also the performance of Chris Young. 5 no-hit innings, and get you ready for 2 Chicago teams, the Cubs and then the White Sox. Ryan, I believe that was home run number what for Donaldson?
I think that was his 94th of the year, wasn't it?
But 41 walk-off home runs now.
My gosh.
He's a beast.
Kelvin Herrera will pitch the 8th inning. Did you notice the shadows? I mean, in theory, this should be a terrible time to hit. Look at all those shadows he's dealing with.
That's a cookie. Pitcher walked right off the mound. He knew it was gone. Maybe before Donaldson.
Abraham Almonte facing Kelvin Herrera. So the Royals, well, the Royals need a win today. They would stay tied as far as the record goes for best record in the American League, but the Blue Jays have won the tiebreaker. So with a win today, the Royals would essentially be 1 game back of the Blue Jays for best record in the league. Almonte running hard is out as Escobar guns him down. Almonte is 0 for 3. So 1 out for Kelvin Herrera. Chris Young opened the game today with 5 hitless innings. Here's our sprint cuts of the game.
And in that first inning, he only used 12 pitches and shut the opponents out. Something that hasn't been done much of here this month of September. A starter getting out of that first inning. He cruised, hitting pop-ups, doing his job. As good as he was, he just earned himself another start. My opinion, only. Higher minds will determine that.
Chris Johnson has flied out twice, both of those against Chris Young. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Cleveland Indians have 1 hit today, and that was a bunt single, which the Royals crowd did not appreciate. That was leading off the 7th inning by Lindor against Madsen. Remember, this series began on Friday night with Carlos Carrasco throwing a 1-hitter against the Royals, and that hit came in the 7th inning as well. Alex Rios with a 1-out swinging single. Hit well to center. Kane's been running all over the place today, and he runs down another one.
Boy, that was lovely. He made that look routine. He's got to battle the sun on that side of second base on the right side, and he just turned and took a perfect route. I mean, you can't draw a straighter line on contact, and he went right to the ball. Great catch.
So 2 down to Jose Ramirez. He is 0 for 2 today, but he was victimized by Kane in the 3rd inning. That was probably Lorenzo's best play of the day. Lorenzo running into deep right center field. One ball and 1 strike. And now the shadows here at Kauffman Stadium begin to give the pitcher an advantage. It'll be much more of an advantage next inning when that shadow reaches the area in between the mound and home plate. Hitter in the shadows now, looking into that backdrop, which is in the full sunlight. Two and two.
Well, facing a guy like Herrera that throws that hard with that sunlight just in front of the box and in front of home plate, that's not going to affect you that much. But if it's halfway, like you said, it will. But you're picking up that release point and you're seeing that ball, and then by the time it gets in that shadow, you've already made up your mind whether you're going to swing or not.
Pulled into the corner and foul.
Looks like that's his seldom used slider. Sped up his bat.
Fouled away again. 100 miles an hour. Just got a piece of it. And again, a pitch at 100. Jose Ramirez is one of 4 switch hitters in the Indians lineup today. Lindor, Santana, Almonte, and Ramirez. And the Indians have only 1 hit. Popped up. Kane is there. Orlando was there. Kane makes the play. And the Royals pitching staff, Young, Duffy, Madsen, and Herrera, have given up just 1 hit in 8 innings. Swanee, Ron Swan, Doc Carruthers, our stage manager, Garrett Hood, our truck engineer, and is super cool, Larry Allen, Taylor Dietz, Don Elliott working video. There he is. Hi, Maddie McLean. Al Broughton, our associate producer. You hear that name every night of graphics.
Ow.
Sam Abramson, who is still on the, there's Chad Wimberly's. Phil, technical director. And Mitch, our audio guy. Mike Myers. Kelly. Attaboy. John. Who was that masked man? Jamie. Sam Abramson, who is our, there's our audio guys. Randy and Gary Miller. And Dave Holtzman, our associate producer of statistics. John Pope. John Pope has one of the coolest jobs in that he gets to run on the field during the game. And there is a legend in our business, Jack Knott, and we wish him the best on his retirement. 59 years in the television business. He is our crew chief. Congratulations, Jack.
That's right. And all those special teammates of ours. Thank you.
But anyway, Sam Abramson, he's our associate producer.
Was he the hooded guy?
Yeah, yep. Still on the FBI's witness protection program. So we can talk about him, but we're still very careful about showing him on television. Lord knows how many lists he's on. Yep.
Thanks, Sammy. Nice talking to you.
Giovanni Soto is pitching for the Indians. Not to be confused with Giovanni Soto, the catcher
For the White Sox.
And they've never faced one another.
Thank you.
Eric Hosmer with the Chrysler drive of the game back in the Royals' 2-run 4th inning.
It was beautiful. 32nd double sliced Lorenzo Cain home, and now Haas, he's trying to pull all these sinkers away, shaking his head saying, man, I can't find a way to get this guy between the lines.
To the left side, Ramirez gobbles it up and throws out Hosmer. 1 down in the 8th inning. The attendance today was 36,339. So a franchise record 2.7 million. Just shattered the previous record in 1989. So that's an average of what, 33,000 per game.
Yes, 33, and for that we say thank you.
33,439 was the average attendance this year. Two 2-0 on Salvador Perez. And the Royals have put on a good show today. 3-0 lead with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Wade Davis is getting ready for the top of the 9th inning, and the Indians will have the 9, 1, and 2 hitters.
Take a look at Salvador Perez's baseball bat. Okay, it looks like a new bat, but it looks like it's worn. Look at all the scuff marks on that bat. Okay, and you know what that's from? That's from packing it and unloading it. And in the bat bag. All those nicks on the side of it like that. And if we look even closer at that bat, it's an Eric Hosmer model. Haas loaned it to Salvi.
There's a number 35 on the knob.
Ooh. Changeup.
And Hosmer, as far as I know, started a trend with the grip on the bat. That it's called lizard grip, and it's an aluminum bat grip. Grounded to third. Ramirez gets a big hop and throws out Perez. And Hosmer started using that in April when it was cold, just for a little extra cushion on the hands, and now almost everybody uses that grip on a wood bat, but that's originally a grip for an aluminum bat.
Right, and I see that in amateur ball with the young kids playing. It's amazing they don't use the bat rack all the time. See how those bats are sitting there for them. Hitters are very particular about their bats.
Oh, and 2 on Moustakas. So far, so good with the MHD, the new back end of the Royals bullpen. Madsen, Herrera, Davis. That's the shortstop Lindor over on the right side of second base. Moustakas is out. And the Royals are 3 outs away from their 90th win of the year.
he took the lead and got that call right. Just talking to some people, guys, about what happened. The rule is this: a manager may challenge as many reviewable calls within a single play as he desires using one challenge. It's my understanding, and we'll hear from Ned afterwards, that he asked for a review of first base, and I'm sure they started getting more information in later that, hey, wait a minute, look at third. Once that was reviewed in New York and that call ended up standing at first base, they couldn't go back and challenge any part of that play again. Doesn't matter that they'd lost the challenge. The umpires also could not call for a challenge. So when they went back to New York and put the headsets on, it is my understanding that they were told, we can't review anything anymore. But the umpires throughout any game always have the chance to have a crew consultation. Dana DeMuth got those guys together, and they said, wait a minute, this is what we saw at third. We're going to change that call. So that was not a call that was changed by replay. It was a call that was changed and definitely affecting this game by the crew wanting to get it right with what they saw.
And kudos, this is just my opinion, kudos to the Crown Vision crew for putting that up on the screen, because it was very evident to all four umpires that that call was badly missed.
Yep.
They can't see the replay. They're not looking at a replay. They don't hear anything from New York, but there it was up on the screen for everyone to see. Now the shadows give Wade Davis a huge advantage, as if he doesn't have one without the shadows. It's 0-2 on Roberto Perez. Big John working the camera down at low first is the one that caught that shot, so he'll get a save, and we hope that Davis also gets a save. Here's the shot. This is a line drive back to the pitcher, and I mean, he was 3 steps away from third base.
Yeah, and you know, there's not too many players that's going to go back and tag, because the action is so fast. All you're thinking about doing is scoring. So you can't blame Lindor for not going all the way back and tagging. Perez put a little battle on for Wade Davis. Fastball, low 90s at cutter, upper 90s four seam. Nice overhand curve.
One and two. Chris Young went 5 hitless innings in his first start in a little over, or a little under 2 months. Danny Duffy pitched a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts, and then Madsen and Herrera both had scoreless innings. Strike 3 called. Oh, and by the way, the Indians have 1 hit all day.
That fan trying to help Perez. So he knows what he's doing wrong.
He's got to swing the bat. I think that's what the fan was saying.
Yeah, but you know what, Perez, you got to go. That was some pain on the outside part of the plate.
Outside to Jason Kipnis.
You know, he's trying to say, hey, look, you know, you got to keep that bottom hand in there, and you know, those foul balls were nice, but you know, you just couldn't get it going, could you?
One and one. That was classic.
He wanted to help him. It didn't look like he was ragging him.
Another reason why we have the best fans in baseball.
That's right.
You know, I mean, into the left field corner, Dyson has to play it off the wall. That's only the 2nd hit for the Indians all day, and Kipnis is at second base with 1 out. You know, the fans recognize that we're done with the Indians. They're hanging on in the wild card. A fan down there wants to make sure that Roberto Perez is ready for his next at bat, which will be against Minnesota tomorrow in Cleveland.
He's got that hat. Just got at the store. Still got the sticker on top.
Since when did it become cool to leave the sticker on the hat?
I couldn't give you an exact year, but I know that the young people of today like to have the tags on them. Even the ones that are attached by the little plastic deal that hang off to the side, they like to keep those on too.
Lindor had the Indians' first hit. That was leading off the 7th inning, and it was a bunt. And the crowd did not like that. They were hoping for a combined no-hitter.
Wow.
Crowd reacts. We had a great catch in the front row of the upper deck.
That was, I watched him. He was sitting down and he just stuck his left hand out and the ball stuck in it. One-handed grab.
One and two. The Royals in that 7th inning had a 2-0 lead. Ryan Madsen was beginning the inning, and it was the first batter he faced. The Royals had not allowed a hit. Lindor put down a bunt, and the crowd let him have it. And then 3 batters later was that wacky double play that Joel was just talking about. Davis back with that same pitch. It's 2-2. Listen in. But putting down a bunt meant the tying run came to the plate. Lindor strikes out. 2 strikeouts for Davis. Now, that guy wasn't suggesting anything there except just to grab some bench.
Fans on their feet for the last game of the 2015 season here at the K. Breaking the all-time attendance mark. Here they come.
Oh, 0-1 on Brantley. Oh, and 2 on Brantley. Oh, there you go. There's a little snapshot of my life every day.
Oh, did you get him in the eye?
Yep. And same pecking order for me, by the way. It appears the older was the dark-haired kid. The second one was the blonde-haired kid. There's Dad. And when the number 2 guy had a chance, he poked his older brother in the eye. Oh, man.
That hurt. Look at kid's right into the game, though.
Left center field. Kane almost collided with Dyson. That would have been a rough end to the game. Wade Davis comes on and gets the save. The Royals have a shutout victory over the Cleveland Indians. And in doing so, that is the 90th KCW. And for just the second time in Major League history, a team has 6 consecutive seasons where their record improves each year. The last time that happened was in 1925 when the Philadelphia A's accomplished that. But going back to 65 wins, and in small increments, the Royals have gone from 65 wins to 90 wins, and the Royals still have 7 games to go, and who knows, maybe have a shot at making it 7 consecutive seasons next year.
Yeah, congratulations to the Royals' 90th win on the last game of the season at home, and to the fans who have supported this team and organization to record numbers. Way to go, Ned. See ya a week from this Thursday coming.
And very few fans left before the final out of the game. Let's go down to the field. Here's Joel.
Thank you very much. Final regular season home interview here at Kauffman Stadium. You hear the numbers, Haas. 2,708,549 fans have seen the Royals play this year. You just got your 90th win. Let's talk about how much this means and this city and this crowd.
It means a lot. You know, we've, after last year, left a bad taste in our mouth, so it feels good to come out here and, secure our berth in the postseason.
I'm his brother. I take care of him.
The brothers, what do you want to say to the fans?
Thank you for the support. Hopefully continue in the postseason.
Salvador Perez giving himself and, as he says, his hermano an ice bath. How much fun has this place become?
It's been a blast. You know, really the whole season long, you guys have brought energy to us and really been a spark plug for us the whole entire year. And, that's why we're working so hard to bring the home field advantage back here, because we know you guys truly give us an advantage.
Haas, it was a close game. How about the job of Chris Young and then the bullpen? Just 2 hits and none from Chris.
Just a great job, CY coming out there, giving us 5 strong innings and handing it off to the bullpen. And, they picked up right where they left off, just doing what they do. And it was just a good overall team win today, and it was a big win. We needed this one.
Take us through that bizarre play, almost a double play. Madsen gets the line drive, and then the throw's a little errant. Then we end up seeing something overturned there at third. What was going on?
Just a crazy play. Something similar like that happened to us last year, but hats off to Duper and everyone in the replay room to see that, and I'm just glad we got the call right.
Congratulations on 90 wins, and hopefully more coming this week on the road, and we'll see you back here at Kauffman Stadium for the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll have some fun next time we'll be back here.
There we go, Eric Hosmer, and a huge ovation as he walks off. Gonna have a good time coming up in October. Ryan?
Yes, we will. Playoff tickets on the way. Where will the Royals be? Who will they be playing? We're going to find out. We'll know a week from today as the Royals finish the regular season in Minnesota. So it's official, going from 65 wins in 2009 and improving in 6 consecutive seasons. Again, that's just the second time that's ever happened in Major League history, and the first time since 1925. It's never happened in the NFL. It's only happened once in the NBA with Minnesota, 92 to 98. It's happened 4 times, interesting, in the NHL, with the last time being with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2004. And depending on what happens in this final week, the Royals still have a pretty good shot at making it 7 consecutive seasons next year. So Salvador Perez dunks himself and Eric Hosmer. Royals win their 90th game. Keep your eye on the last 7 games of the season. We'll be right back.